Hello, my name is Kiriath, and it's time for yet another Monday Ramble, a bit later than usual today. Today we're going to look at the previews for the 25th of October 2020, which was yesterday. Before we get into this, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who watched and commented on the video I put up last week about the issues that I'm currently having. It's slightly better, not a huge amount, but better than I was, slowly getting there. But the sheer amount of support really kind of blew me away, to be honest. So yeah, thank you very much for all of the comments and messages that you've left and sent. I have read literally all of them, I think, at this point. But yeah, thank you. So let's have a look. What have we got? What have we got available to pre-order next weekend? Let's take a glance. As always, skipping the video. I got 2 more copyright claims literally yesterday from trailers. I know I bring this up nearly every time, but it's because it doesn't stop, ever. So, Codexes. Need some aliens hunted. Time to call the Deathwatch. They could have done like a I ain't afraid of no aliens, or done some sort of like who do you want to call, something like that. No. Opportunity missed there. So, you've got your standard edition, and you've got your collector's edition. Same art. Slightly different finish on the covers, and no Warhammer 40k logo on one of them. Pretty much, that's it. It does look like, obviously, cards. It does look like the dice are relatively sensible this time round. Now, I'm assuming that the Deathwatch symbol is the 6 and the skull is the 1. Do they say? They do not say which way round it is, but that to me is a relatively sensible dice set. They're readable, they're clean, they're clear. You've got a sensible kind of dice colour, and the dots are actually visible. Like, if this is the trend now, keep going, carry on, keep on going this way. Less of the nonsense you can't read them dice, and more of the usable but still flavourful dice. We've also got combat patrols. So we're going to talk about this during the week, because this is a whole video in and of itself. So it's the first in a range of releases that include a combat patrol-sized force straight out of the box. Now, there's since been another article that seems to suggest that start collecting is going away, and this is going to be the new norm. I'm going to try and double-check that is actually the case. We will talk about it in a bit more detail probably tomorrow, because, as I say, I think that's probably a video in and of itself. But they do, on the surface of it, look to be pretty decent. I mean, as a Deathwatch box goes, that looks fine to me. Obviously, all Primaris, we shouldn't be surprised by that at this point. I have to admit that I think if they are doing it combat patrol wise, and they're like trying to make it so that each of these is just a fully relevant, fully fieldable force in and of its own right, that is definitely the way to go. If they could try and standardise the power a bit, so that each box is pretty much the same number of points, that would be really helpful. Whether they will or not, I don't know, but if these are the replacement for start collecting, then I think having them as an actual combat patrol, an actual detachment that you just field straight away, all of that's kind of helpful. So there's also the Space Wolves Codex, again, not Codex, supplement. You know what I mean? Standard version, and then your fancy version, which I don't know. I just feel like it should be different art or something a bit more, just something a bit more, you know. Probably just me. Liking the inclusion of the Redemptor at the back there. Excellent work. Always a fan of a Redemptor. The Space Wolves dice, actually, not too bad. Again, it looks like you got a skull for the 1, and the actual Space Wolves wolf. That's the name of it. That's what it is. It's a wolf, clearly. Is the 6. Maybe not quite as instantly readable as the Deathwatch ones, but again, still relatively sensible. Still pretty readable. If they could do that for all of them, that'd be grand. There's also this. Now, this is interesting. So, it includes the rules for a brand new unit, the Hounds of Morkai, who are also getting a multi-part plastic kit. So, a dedicated Psycho hunting pack equipped with runic totems to protect them from evil magics before they close in and slay the witch. Now, you might be forgiven for thinking, is that just not some Reavers? Is that not just some Reavers with some Space Wolf heads and like a little trophy there, a little rune, and that's about it? I feel like this is... I'm not... how do I put this nicely? This is not a unit that is blowing me away. Let's phrase it like that. When you hear something like the Hounds of Morkai, I expect something kind of feral looking and, you know, really visually distinctive, something that's got its own flavour, its own personality outside of just being slightly darker grey. Basically, these guys have just got the kind of dark grey that you would find on 30k Space Wolves, with a bit of the light, sort of bluey grey blue that you find on 40k Space Wolves, and that seems to be it for the most part, which is not massively exciting. I mean, I'm not a Space Wolves player. Hold my hands up. Maybe you as a Space Wolves player are looking at this and going, hell yes, give me all of that. It just seems a bit kind of like, here's some Reavers. They've got a Space Wolves upgrade pack in the box. That's kind of what it feels like. But again, maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe I'm being unfair on that. There's also combat patrol for the Space Wolves as well, including, on this one, an Invicta Warsuit. So you've got, it looks like, what is that? Is that 10 Intercessors and some Reavers, by the look of things? Just about? I can't count. Yeah. Yeah, so you got 10 Intercessors, you got 5 Reavers, you've got a battle leader, whatever they're called, and an Invicta Warsuit. Again, all Primaris. We should not be surprised by that anymore. Although I would have loved to see some Wolfen in there. I'm not, I prefer the older Wolfen models, but to me, Wolfen are, they're so Space Wolfy. They are very Space Wolfy. Chucking those in one of these boxes would have been cool. Also, the scale of them means that they do kind of fit with the Primaris stuff pretty easily. They are quite big compared to your standard Space Marines. So if it was like wanting to provide a unified look, I mean, to be fair, they kind of do. But that's what you get in that one. So interesting, so that's 17 models, and the Deathwatch one was 15. Although the Deathwatch is Intercessors and Aggressors, an Apothecary, and a Lieutenant. Okay, alright, so it's a different, pretty different composition there, actually. So yeah, there you go. You've got Space Wolves Combat Patrol, and you've got a Deathwatch Combat Patrol as well. We've also got the Outriders on the way, so they'll be available as separate thingies. So, as they say, you can get them in the Command Edition and Elite Edition. Depending on the price of them, you might want to get the Command Edition, and the Elite Edition, and sell a few things off. But they will be available in their own separate box. Obviously, Ravenwing and White Scars players have to get a shout out when it comes to bikes because, well, they have to get a shout out because it's bikes. I do still like these. I do still like these models. They obviously are not functional, and they are somehow lower to the ground even than the old bikes, which my main issue with those were how they were too low to the ground. But they are beefy. They are chunky. You've got to respect the girth of these things. If they're the same ones that come in Indomitus / those editions, which I'm assuming they will be, they are a little interesting to put together from what I've seen. A lot of people that I've seen put them together has had issues with them, like not fitting properly, like there being horrible gaps in the panels down the front and the centre. You can obviously fix stuff like that, but it would have been nice if the same flaw that exists with the old Space Marine bikes weren't borderline replicated perfectly in the new ones. We'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, they do have that Indomitus wrist guard, like the Indomitus symbol on the wrist guard, so I'm guessing these are exactly the same ones. So yeah, interesting. I need to get a set and have a fiddle. Still the like. Don't phrase it like that. What are you talking about? We also have Ragnar Gasgul and Makari. I was reading it and I wanted to say Macari, but then I was like, that's not a name. That's not what he's called. Don't say that out loud. So yeah. Again, Ragnar, still cool. The pose still doesn't make a huge amount of sense, the way he's standing on the rock, but that's fine. I suppose technically not a rock, it's technically an Imperium symbol, but yeah, it's made a rock, whatever. Ghazghkull is still obviously awesome, but that's the true hero, and we all know it. So yeah, they're going to be available separately as well, finally. I get why they do the putting them all in one box. It shifts the box, and it makes it a big thing. It's like, look at these new heroes, you can only get them here, so on and so forth. But if you don't want any of that and you just want Ghazghkull, it kind of sucks. So, yeah. Now, this thing. The new Citadel painting handle. I've got the current painting handle. It's fine. It works. It's a painting handle. You know, what more do you need? What more do you want? It's perfectly acceptable as a painting handle. I've seen a lot of jokes about this particular painting handle, and I will say, straight up, that I'm not an expert on these things, alright? I'm not an expert, but if you're sticking that up your arse, surely that is going to be a fairly painful experience. Now, as I say, I'm not an expert in the matter, but I feel like you don't want something that is both blunt, like flat, and wide going in there, right? You don't want that. Surely you prefer something a bit more ease of entry. But the number of people that I've seen like going, look at this, it's the new Games Workshop, and it's like, well, I can see it, but surely that's not going to be a pleasant way to do that. Yeah, interesting design. I guess the only way to find out whether it works better than the current one for painting, not for sticking it up your arse, is to, buy one. But I really don't see what was wrong with the one that you can currently get. Maybe this one is supposed to be just like more easy to hold, but then how does it get more easy to hold than the? I didn't think it needed a redesign, is what I'm getting at. So then again, maybe they know more than I do, and I'm just, maybe I'm not fussy enough with the things I put in my hand. We're finally going to see the Imperial Armour Compendium. Finally, it's happening. We can actually get, data sheets for stuff you can buy from Forge World, and it'll be up to date and done and sorted and good. This is good. This is nice. I'm pretty sure that there's already been an article showing off what's in the book. We'll go through that again sometime this week. But yeah, needed. Be interesting to see what they do with a lot of the rules. Whether they get a bit stronger or a bit worse. Yeah, we'll have to take a look and do a little bit of a comparison here and there. And we've also got the creepy rogue doctor for Necromunda, who I think I'm gonna have to pick that lad up. I'm gonna have to get him. He's too cool to not get. He's pretty awesome. Yeah, I wanna take a look at the lad. I'd like to paint that. That'd be fun. There's also a limited edition version of Ragnar Blackmane. I think this is like how many? There's been more than one limited edition of this book, right? I'm sure they've done at least one other. Have they or have they not? Oh, I can't remember. I'm sure. I could swear that there's been another version of the Ragnar Blackmane book, like limited edition. So yeah, it looks nice. Only 1,250 copies, and signed by the look of things. 1,250 copies is not a lot. That's going to disappear immediately, and I can foresee a lot of scalping going on there, which is a little bit disappointing. But I think it's probably going to happen. And there's also Deathwatch: The Long Vigil, so an anthology of short stories, hardback and ebook. No softback? Okay, just hardback and ebook, apparently. And there's also a bunch of stuff in Darkness in Blood as well. Darkness in the Blood, sorry. Oh, that's not an anthology, is it? That's actually just a book. Fair enough. Seeking a cure for the twin afflictions that curse the Blood Angels, the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. And perhaps the answer lies with Mephiston, the twice-born Lord of Death. And again, hardbook, ebook and audiobook versions. And there's also Nightbringer, the first part of the Uriel Ventris Chronicles. And, God, so much. Blood Quest as well. It's a big time for Black Library, apparently. It feels like there's quite a lot of Black Library stuff just flat out all the time now. It's impossible to keep up, I think. And, of course, you've got your schedule for Warhammer Live, which, again, the Hobby Clinic was really helpful, the last one they did, last Tuesday. There was some... I'll try and find the specific bit that made me go, oh, yeah, I should do that, because it was genuinely helpful. But yeah, there you go. That is the stuff that will be available next weekend. I got distracted because a massive... I don't know if you can hear that. Something colossal just flew overhead. I don't know what it was, but it surprised me. It's also like the 8th thing to fly over my house. Maybe we're at war, and I don't know. Anyway, let's finish on these lads, and you can tell me what you think of them. Whether you think they look in any way different apart from the colour scheme, whether you're okay with that, whether that's good, bad, indifferent. That was a film, wasn't it? The good, the bad, and the different. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's anything here that you're planning to pick up, then do say what it is and why. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.